Okay, good morning, everyone. It is 9:36, and we had a little bit of technical difficulty getting going this morning, so I'd like to say that this is a special meeting of council. All members of council are present except Councillor Boulanger, who is away. And the purpose of this meeting is to go through some bylaws, and our tax levy bylaw will be receiving first reading, and our public hearing for the tax levy bylaw will be in a couple of weeks. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our CAO to walk us through the information we have for today.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to present the 2025 financial plan that will enable the municipality to manage expected growth, maintain and grow the infrastructure, and provides increased services while keeping the tax rate sustainable and protecting the environment. The financial plan also takes into consideration the unexpected challenges the municipality may face due to uncertain times we are presently encountering. The financial plan supports the RM strategic plan and the goals established in that plan. The 2025 financial plan continues to support a commitment to funding for hard surface roads and council's commitment to roads through the 1 mill rate dedication for road improvements per year, with a 10-year plan to increase to 2 mill rates with 0.1 mill rate per year. In 2025, council continues to reduce future risks, as mentioned, related to infrastructure costs. The 1 mill rate dedicated towards road equals this year at $1,149,030.69. Additional commitments to hard surface road infrastructure of the 10 years is 0.1 mill rate per year, which will be at the end of 10 years be 2 mill rates to stabilize road plans for the future. It also addresses previous hard roads with a commitment of $3.5 million that was identified. Continue to stabilize reserves from year-end surpluses to provide sufficient funds for capital projects and reserves and cash flow management to reduce reliance on utilizing the operating line of credit, as well as support recreation for the RM with the $200,000 to reserves and the completion of the St. Clements Activity Center for over $6 million as a community recreation project, and commitment to a boat launch in the amount of $300,000. It continues to support business community with $50,000 towards businesses and a commitment to community and volunteer groups through grants. The plan also delivers the next phase of the strategic regional infrastructure priorities for over $6 million for regional water projects. It also continues to implement a 3-year budgeting strategy to provide a level of predictability and stability in the operation of the RM, and a 13% mill rate reduction in 2025. Increased services and budget for dust control, gravel roads, grass cutting, drainage, brushing, and ditching. It also provides for the expansion of the landfill with new self-construction in 2025 for $4 million, and a significant capital investment for fire and public works equipment for fleet operations. The Rural Municipality of St. Clements also intends to introduce 5 borrowing bylaws that are coming forward in the near future for a public hearing in the council chamber on May 27th at 2 p.m. The public notice has been given pursuant to subsection 174(1) of the Municipal Act that the Council of the Rural Municipality of St. Clements intends to give first reading to 5 proposed borrowing bylaws at the council chamber on the same date following the public hearing. Construction of road remediation works is one of those bylaws that we just mentioned, which is for $3.5 million that council made a commitment to fix up previously constructed roads. The other is the next one is for the recreation facility. So the recreation facility that is being completed by June of this year, now that it's complete, we are going forward with the borrowing on that one. Similar to the road remediation, which we're completing this year. The total cost of the project is $6.5 million because we received more funding from the federal government and the $2 million from us, which equals 2.04 from the province of Manitoba, 2.45 from the federal government, and 2.0 from the RM St. Clements. To expand the Lebo land facility is the next one, which is the landfill. And the total cost of this project is $4 million, and we've received grant funding for $2 million of that from the province of Manitoba. And the total cost of the borrowing is $2 million been identified. And the next one is the construction and the improvement of the water control works. And what this is the previous works that were used to do drainage works throughout the municipality. And much of those costs were also recovered through grants. Originally, it was $3.5 million in borrowing, and then what we're looking at is moving forward with only $1.52 million of borrowing for a total cost proposed of $1.525. The next part of the project is the construction of the water reservoir, river pipeline, and as well as a well field. And the total cost of this project is $6 million. And again, we've received $3 million in funding from the province of Manitoba Water Services Board, and $1 million will be used from the reserves and $2 million in borrowing as part of that project. I just want to note, Madam Mayor, that the borrowing bylaws that are being put forward, except for the ones where the projects are already complete, such as the water control works, the St. Clements facility, the recreation facility in St. Clements, and the road remediation works. Those are directly related with borrowing after the projects are complete. The other ones are giving us borrowing authority, and at a later point we'll address whether we need to borrow or utilize reserves, as we did in many others.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for our CAO? Okay, if there are no questions, we will proceed to give the annual tax levy bylaw for 2025 first reading, please.
Resolved that bylaw 4 of 2025 being a bylaw to provide for the 2025 annual tax levy be given first reading.
Thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarovich, Councillor Strang seconds. Any further discussion on the tax levy bylaw?
Madam Mayor, if I could just add
Sure.
that our public hearing or our open house was last night in the RM office, and the meeting was recorded and will be available shortly on our website. We also intend to follow through on also providing a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, as well as we will be also providing some additional communications, such as a budget overview in the next week or so.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, I have a mover and I have a seconder, and if there is nothing else, I will call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Now, the borrowing bylaws. There are the 5 of them, and we'll give them all first reading. As was said in our CAO's presentation, they will be for a public hearing. No, not today.
Not today.
No.
They will be on May 22nd.
Right, yes. Yeah, we'll have a public hearing at a future date, but to get them in the works, we will give all 5 of them first reading today. So the first one is bylaw number 6 of 20.
So, Madam Mayor, we're not, we're
You're
just
not giving them
introducing,
first
we're just
reading
introducing
today?
them for open and transparency, but they'll be given first reading after the public hearing on, they'll be given first reading the date of the public hearing, which is May 6th.
Okay, sorry, I apologize for
And May
that.
27th is the time we'll be dealing with the 5 bylaws themselves.
Second and third reading on the 27th?
The first reading, the
On the
proposal will be on the 6th, on the 7th, on the 27th. We have to give 21 days notice from today.
Okay, so first reading for the 5 bylaws will be on May the 27th.
Correct.
And then second and third reading will be on,
June 17th. So what's on the 6th again?
The 6th is the tax levy bylaw.
Oh, second and third reading.
The hearing.
the hearing.
The hearing, public hearing.
Yeah,
And then the second and third reading after that, if necessary.
going to be 13th, if we're going to do it on the 6th.
Correct.
Okay, so are you going to go through those bylaws a little bit, or what are you planning to?
My intro sort of discussed all five of those
Okay.
bylaws, which were the road remediation works,
Right,
the St. Clements Recreation Facility, the Lebo landfill expansion, the water control works, and the reservoir and pipeline. As mentioned, the road remediation works are being completed this year. That's why we're coming forward with a bulk borrowing, which was a commitment made in 2023 to fix up specific roads that had been previously constructed and were no longer hard surface roads, put them back as hard surface roads. The other is the South St. Clements for recreation facility, which has been completed this year and will be completed by June, and we're moving forward with it. There's the Lebo landfill, which obviously is just a borrowing authority at this point, so we'll be moving forward. Afterwards, the water control works was the drainage projects that we had completed previously, and we're moving forward with the borrowing directly with those. And finally, it's the utility, which is the water reservoir, river pipeline, and well field expansion.
thank you for that. Okay, any questions or comments on any of those bylaws from members of council? Okay, and so that tells me that if we need to, we will be moving in camera now, and we can have some other discussions if required.
So resolve council recess the regular meeting and go into in-camera to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be it resolved that all matters discussed are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)(d) of the municipal act.
Can I have the mover, please? Councillor Horbis, second, please. Councillor Sutherland, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those